Howdy, my name is Mykel Hawke. You may know me from some of my highly rated television shows on survival. However, I've also been teaching survival for 20 years. I have some best-selling survival books and best-selling survival products. But a lot of people don't know I also have an extensive background in military special operations and in medicine. I'm a retired Special Forces captain, and prior to that, I was a senior enlisted sergeant with Special Forces. My specialty was a Special Forces medic, or 18 Delta. I was also a National Registry paramedic. I was a medical service officer, and my undergrad degree is in pre-medicine biology. So that said, when I teamed up with PERSYS Medical to make a specialized medical kit, we wanted to make sure that every component in it also had a survival application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about not the medical application of each component, but how it can apply to someone in a survival situation. So basically, you double the bang for your buck. You got a medical kit and a survival kit. Let's take a look. First thing is, you always got to have A for airway. So what we have is a nasopharyngeal airway. Now, these things go into the nose and down inside so that the person can have an open breathing airway in case they have some sort of facial trauma. Where this comes into play for survival application is it doubles as a survival straw. So if there's some water that's in a tree trunk or in a crack or in some sort of crevice, you can actually get in there and drink some of the water out or siphon it out and then purify it. So this is a great little tool to have. For breathing, the Petroleum Gauze Jelly Dressing. Normally we use this for covering a sucking chest wound, but for survival purposes, one, it makes a great signal mirror, and two, the petroleum gauze inside is highly flammable, so it's a great fire assistant. That's a fantastic tool to have in your kit. Next, for circulation, we have all types of things to stop bleeding. Okay, a dressing. This doubles as a cravat. It makes a rucksack. It makes a scarf. It makes protection from the sun for your eyes. There's about 30 different uses for a cravat other than medical application. So this is a fantastic thing to have in your survival and medical kit, as well as you can use bits of the edges for tinder for helping you get a fire going. Now it comes in a little plastic bag, which also can double for storing food or for making a cup for drinking water. Likewise, it comes with some pins that are great for repairing your clothing, putting something together if you got to make like a rucksack or something out of the scarf and holding it together, or you can even use it if you got a big cut to help close up a wound. These also make great fishing hooks, okay, and traps for your snares. We've got some standard dressings that come with the kit, but you can also use the paper from these as toilet paper or as tinder to help get your fire going, and the same for the gauze that's inside. Or you can use the gauze for filtering device if you're trying to get a lot of, say, dirt out of a dirty water source before you purify it. You've got the standard butterfly stitches, okay, for closing up wounds, which is a great thing if you get a big cut. But also you can use these to tape things together like tree bark or something and make something that you can use for boiling water or carrying food in. Really important one are these iodine wipes. The reason we use these is because you can squeeze the iodine drops from them into your water, and you got a way to chemically purify your water. It's a fantastic asset to have in your survival/medical kit. And standard alcohol wipes. Now these are good for keeping your hands clean, because when you're surviving, you're dirty, and when you start eating, you don't have utensils. If your hands are dirty, you get sick. But also, because these have alcohol, they're also great fire extenders. If you can get a spark, then you can get these to ignite because they're highly flammable. Again, another great thing to have in your survival medical kit. We also have these bee sting relief. Okay, these are great things for insect repellent. And we have the lubricant for the nasopharyngeal airway, which has some glycerin in it, but it's primarily water-based. And if you're really thirsty in a dry, parched environment like the desert or like the salt water, you can put this in your mouth and wet your tongue. It's completely digestible for the human beings. No safety factors in there at all. On top of that, you got the antibiotic ointment. One of the big things in survival is prevention, and you get a little cut, that thing becomes infected very quickly. So having some antibiotic and some alcohol, you can clean it up if you got no water, stop infection. But also, this makes us a great lubricant if you get chapped lips, or if you got a rucksack and you're getting chapped on your arms, or you're getting blisters on your feet, you can use this as a lubricant to help all those skin ailments. You got standard bandages, which, you know, just good things to have, but they also have tape. You can use that tape for lashing, putting together structures like shelters and that sort of thing. So it's a nice little handy thing. You can actually improvise a lot by just having these Band-Aids as a tape function. We've got the Q-tips. Now the Q-tips are primarily for the ears, but also a lot of times in survival you get stuff in your eyes, and these are great for helping you to get that sort of thing out of your eye. You just got to get it wet with a soluble water so that you don't hurt your eyes, and you can get foreign objects out of your eyes before that becomes a critical incident for you. Then we also have these tongue depressors. They make great splints for fingers, for toes. You can build things with these. You can use them to get a fire starter because you can split up the wood and it gives you a fuel source. So these are great things to have in your survival kit. And then on top of that, it all comes in this very strong plastic container so that you can keep everything waterproof. You can slip it in your pocket, in your cargo pocket, but also it doubles as a water container. So with this right here and the iodine, you can fill this with water, you can treat it, you can drink up, fill it again, and then you can close it, and this gives you mobility away from your water source, which will hopefully get you to being rescued. And then on top of it, primarily for safety, you got the gloves, but we use a brightly colored glove because they help as a signaling device, okay, as well as you can use these to carry water or carry food. So they have a lot of different uses, and that's one of the reasons why we've included them in the basic mini first aid kit. This is the Hawke PERSYS Survival Medical Kit. These are the components of the medium-size survival aid bag by Hawke brand and PERSYS Medical. It still comes with everything that you get in the small medical bag. However, it comes with a lot of other great additional tools, mainly for medical, but all of them have a survival application. For example, the tourniquet. Obvious reasons for using to save lives if you got a major bleeder or an amputation, but it's also fantastic lashing for putting things together, constructing a shelter. It's brightly colored, so it makes a fantastic signal. All kinds of things that you can do, making traps and snares with the tension from having this rubberized tourniquet. Fantastic survival tool. This also comes with this great blizzard blanket, which is easy open. There you go. The beautiful thing about this is not only does it stop sun, it stops rain, it stops wind, it can be a lean-to, it can be a tarp, you can make it into a rucksack. You actually can use this to carry water, and you can use this for signaling. So it's a fantastic thing. You just make little shreds and leave little markers marking your trail, or put little shreds of this hanging up in the tree. The wind blows, it shines, it catches the sunlight, it lets people know, here you are, come rescue you. Fantastic tool. Now they also have some fantastic first aid devices in here, such as this compressed cotton gauze. This thing is wonderful because you can use this to stuff wounds, as medical people know, but also you can use this for carrying things, you can use this for lashing, you can use it for starting fires, you can use it for filter. It's just a wonderful material to have, with about 20 different uses having this gauze right there, other than the first aid use of it. And it's so light and small and compressed, it's really a great tool. Next, you have a very wonderful medical tool in here called a wound stop by PERSYS Medical. Not only do you have a lot of thick blood absorbing material here for immediately on the wound, you have an elastic band that you can wrap around the wound, and you even have a device so that you can make it tight and put direct pressure on it and stop the bleeding. But it also doubles for, again, making lashing. You can use that to wrap sprains or ankles because of its elasticity, and then you can even use the plastic parts of it. If you don't need them for the dressing, you can use these for snaps, you can use them for traps, and you can use them for fishing hooks. Fantastic little tool. Another great thing in the medium-sized medical survival bag is a CPR face mask. Now this is nice just if you got to do CPR on someone so that you can blow into their mouth and not have anything come back, but it also is great for a sucking chest wound because you can put it on and if they breathe out, the air will go out but none will come in. So it's a nice little thing to have in your medical bag. It works nicely for survival things just because you can also use it to maybe roll up some food, preserve some food, or you can actually use it to just carry some stuff for you. Nice little thing. Another neat little trick you can do with these is take little shreds and put them on a hook and use them to make a fishing lure. That's a cool little trick. Another thing that comes with the CPR face mask is this little Ziploc bag. It's another neat little survival trick, but if you fill this with water and then put it in sunlight, you can actually make it like a magnifying glass and use that to help you get a fire going. So that's a cool little thing to do with just this little bag. It seems like nothing. Next thing in the survival medical bag is good old-fashioned ace wrap. Do a million things with it. Filter, make a headband, make gloves, make socks. Use it for sprains, make it sling. So it's a wonderful tool to have, but also because it's elasticity, you can use it for lashing, for making shelters, putting together rucksacks and that type of thing. There's a lot of tools that you can get out of this just because it's cordage. Then, what comes with the small first aid kit also comes with the medium size kit is a roll of tape. And this stuff is really good for basically small wounds, putting together little cups. You can actually make a cup or a plate or a bowl out of it, which is a nice thing to have in a survival situation. But there's about 1,000 different uses that you can use for tape, and it's good to have some, and you get it with the little medical kits. Okay, the next thing that comes with a medium-sized survival medical bag is a J-tube. This is used primarily to keep an airway open, or you can use it as a bite block if you got to get an obstruction outside. But you can also use this for making traps or snares as a trigger assembly. So it's a nice little extra to have in your survival kit. It comes with standard bandage scissors, which are good for removing clothing for the medical people. These things are strong enough to cut pennies, so it's great for survival because, in short, it gives you an edge that you can use for cutting and for making things that you would otherwise use a knife for, which is a very important tool in survival. And it comes with a marker, primarily for marking things on a patient, but it's also a great tool for writing for yourself, keeping a log, keeping your mind focused, or leaving messages for people and saying, hey, here's where you are, here's when you were here, here's where you're going. So it's a nice little extra tool to kind of have. And then, last but not least, is the good, strong plastic bag that this comes in. Again, mainly, it is a water container, and I can't press how important that really is to have a good water container, and that's what this comes in. For the large medical survival bag, you not only get everything that comes in the small medical survival kit and the medium medical survival kit, you also get these additional components. Good that you get good old-fashioned toilet paper for blowing your nose, taking care of bowel movements, but also it makes great tinder for getting a fire going. And it comes with soap. And the soap becomes very important in a survival situation because it keeps you feeling clean, hygienic, so that you are healthier, you fight infection, and if you get wounds, you can clean them out with the soap. Likewise, the soap in a small area of still water makes as a temporary fish poison. So if you can put that in a small area with some minnows or something, they can't breathe, they float up to the top, and you can eat them. It's a great little trick. It also comes with burn dressing. Fantastic for what it's designed to do, but this is primarily water. Now, they can't advertise that it's for drinking, but you can drink this because it's 95% water and the other components are digestible by the human body. A nice little addition in any survival medical kit. You get a couple more dressings for larger wounds. Again, these are good for signaling because they're white. They're also good for using as fire starter and tinder. Now, on the other side, you've got iodine drops. These are great for cleaning wounds when you get cuts and scrapes, but it's also good for purifying water. This right here can make it so that even if you never get a fire, you don't have anything to boil water in, you can treat your water, make it safe. So you can fill up these plastic bags, treat it, wait 30 minutes, and now you've got safe drinking water, and that is crucial for survival. So this is worth its weight in gold by itself. Then on top of it, it comes with a nice little kit of survival matches so you can start a fire. It's a nice little waterproof case, but the key is it comes with matches. And then we also have water drops. These are saline drops. You can use them for rinsing the eyes if you get debris in the eyes, but also they're water. They're drinkable. A little bit of salt, just like a little Gatorade. So if you're thirsty, this is another survival tool in your medical kit. Then it comes with the specialized blizzard blanket, which is far better than the regular space blanket because it's basically two of them put together with air pockets sewn in, so that what it gives you is a lot more strength. It survives a lot better under duress in a survival situation. It's orange on one side, silver on the other side, so it's great for all the other things that a shelter would be, stopping the sun, the wind, the rain, keeping you warm. But it's also strong enough you can actually make a litter out of this thing, and that's fantastic to know. It's a great tool to have in your aid kit and your survival kit. It comes with a sharps container because we also include a needle. Now this needle can be used for fishing, it can be used for draining wounds, it can be used for giving an injection, and then if you need to store it, once you've opened it, you can put it in the sharps container. But the sharps container also makes a neat little cup for drinking, and you can use this as a trap for insects. It's a really cool little thing. You open it up, stick it in the ground, insects come along, fall in, they can't climb out, and then you've got bugs for breakfast. It's a nice little thing to have. We also provide a scalpel, which is good if you have like a boil or something, you need to lance it. It's also primarily for the survivor, it is your blade. A knife being one of the most important things you can have in a survival situation. Having a scalpel in your survival medical bag gives you that knife for skinning animals, cleaning game, doing all sorts of things that you might need. We include a syringe. It's primarily for either sucking pus out of a wound or irrigating a wound with water or rinsing something out of your eye, but it's a nice little tool to have in your survival aid bag. And we include a suture that with a needle. So if you know how to suture or you need to suture, you have that capability, but also it doubles for sewing up your clothing if you get a tear, fixing your rucksack or your shelter, or you can use it for fishing line, and you can use the needle as your fishing hook. It's a nice little survival medical tool right there. Also, we include a proper tourniquet that's made of the nylon cordage with the metal fastener, so you can make a great tourniquet if you've got an amputation. But it also makes a great signal strap because it's bright colored orange, and you can use this as a hoist. You can use it to tie yourself into a tree if there's a dangerous predator on the ground and you got to sleep up in the tree. Bottom line is it can become a belt, it can become a fastener for a shelter, a lot of things that you can do with this strong nylon strap for a survival situation, as well as a tourniquet. Then we include a really nice little kit, comes in a pouch so you can carry it. You have your bandage scissors, but also a flashlight. Now, a flashlight for medicine is primarily to check the eyes and some other things, but for a survivor, this is great for not only seeing in the dark if you got to get some firewood or something like that, but it's great for signaling. It's a fantastic extra tool to have in any survival medical bag. Then we come with some of the other nice little extras to have. Hemostats. Just make great clamps if you got to pull something out, hold something together. Smaller scissors if you got to cut something. Again, it's a blade, it's an edge. So when that scalpel goes dull, you've got this big strong piece of metal that you can use as a knife. Very important tool. And some tweezers, which can remove thorns, which invariably you're going to get. It can also help you to get little bugs and use those and put them in the pot without getting yourself stung. And it's just a weapon because of its sharp point. So these are great little extra tools to have in your survival medical bag. And then last but not least is a SAM splint. And these are primarily used to make splints when you don't have anything, but there's all kinds of things that you can do with this. You can make a shelter, you can make a neck brace, you can make a bowl, and it's because it's got this little piece of metal inside, you can actually make a bowl and use this for boiling water if you needed to. So this is a wonderful thing to have, and of course, you can use it for signaling also. And then last very last is the big old bag that it comes in. This right here can actually pretty much become like a little coat that you can put on your torso to keep you warm, or you can use it as a big water carrying container, and in a pinch you can actually fill it with air and use it as a flotation device if you need to take to the water to try to get to your rescue. So that is all the components of the large medical survival bag from PERSYS and Hawke. The components from the medium and the small kit are included in that, and taken all together, you have one of the best medical kits that you can have for all purposes, whether you're professional, outdoorsman, military person, family, but also every single piece has been hand selected by me based on over 20 years of survival experience to give you more bang for the buck and have survival application. For more, check out the website. Happy survival.